has been hit hardest by depression during the COVID-19 pandemic. We now have some answers. Research done by Indiana University gives us the first look at some specific demographics. According to the study, 1 out of every 3 people reports symptoms of depression. That number is almost 4 times higher than previous estimates among young adults. The numbers were not the same when remote technology like Zoom was used.
2020 looked like it's going to be a great year, and then the pandemic hit. We all found ourselves moving into work from a completely different environment. We all suddenly was isolated and work from home. We all felt also the emotional toll that it takes to be alone by yourself at home, and many of us felt lonely and by ourselves. And we start to communicate with people in a completely different way.
Working from home is very different. Everything is digital, so you spend 6, 8, 10 hours a day in front of your computer working. This is very different from normal working conditions, and this is very demanding. First, the ergonomy is not optimized. You spend all these hours working at digital distances. This is very demanding. We measured that the needs for digital work increased by 60% during the pandemic compared to the time before. This is a huge increase. Second, the environment is not optimized. You get lightning coming from everywhere around you and creating like parasite lights, which are disturbing you and preventing you from focusing on your task. This is like a kind of noise that you have to filter in order to get focused. And this is increasing your mental load while working in those conditions compared to normal working conditions.
What is the difference of today usage compared to what we have like 3 years ago when we introduced the first AI progressive lenses? So we talk about what actually people do in every day, and we look in all of that, and we identify 2 major problems. The first one is the optical. We're actually driving, we're walking outside, we're reading, but we're using much more all the digital zone. So how we can improve the digital zone and still have everyday progressive lenses? That was one issue that we had to deal with. The second one was the lighting. All the lights around the house, all the lights that people actually looking at, it's not a natural light. And it's not the office environment that we used to work for so many years that perfect for office environment. But now, when we see people only through a small screen, and actually we cannot see their eyes, despite that the eyes taking a much bigger part of the screen and much more interactive with us, but we cannot see them. So that was the second issue that we had. So that's what the autograph intelligent and expression actually was designed for.
Our goal was to decrease this noise in order to make sure that all ambient lights coming to our face and eyes is reduced to the minimum level. We implemented signal to noise index in our Glacier expression in order to improve the coating and achieving this high clarity.
After identifying those 2 issues, I cannot see the screen, and also people maybe cannot see my eyes, we decided to go for a couple of research to try to understand the real meaning of the difference between different coating in the market. So we asked 1,200 people in the US. We asked them to be in a Zoom environment, and we gave them a few different scenarios to see where they respond better, where they feel more connected, where they feel that they can trust the person more, where they feel that they can understand the person on the other side. And it was very clear from the first research that ever done in the optical industry that I feel much more connected to the people that I can see their eyes. We actually compare people without any AR and with people with expression. And it was overwhelming proof that people actually feel much more connected when they use an expression. When we did the research, we actually equipped our models with 3 different types of lenses. One without any coating, and this is the glasses that you see here. Then we equipped them with one of the best coating in the market, Glacier Plus, and you can see the lights, you can see the reflection, but much less than without coating. And then we brought the expression. The expression has 70% less reflection, what allowed everybody to see my eyes.
And we had the intuition that in those conditions, the eyes become even more important because they are the most important thing inside that frame. And so seeing clearly one's eye online is very critical. I want people to see my eyes so that they understand what I am meaning and that the interaction will be easy between us. That is a major change.
From the beginning, the concept of photograph intelligence is using the learning design concept. It will always learn the changes and needs. What we have learned is that during the last few years, there has been a change in our needs. And our needs are now working more with our digital tools, home and office. Photograph intelligence combined with Glacier expression is an optimized solution. It reduces the reflection, improving the signal to noise ratio, and adapting the new digital zone that is required our current days.
When people can see our eyes and they can see our expression, they feel more connected, they feel more trusted when they're talking with us and they see us. We met many people in the first time in Zoom. Now we can see them and we can feel them. So when you have less glare and less barrier, you can see me, I can see you. You can feel me, I can feel you.
Thank you for joining us today. We have a very exciting program for you, highlighting two very innovative products. Our session will run about 75 minutes, and please use the chat feature below for any questions you may have. We will address some questions in the chat, and a follow-up email will be sent addressing questions that we will not get to at the session. My name is Phil, and I lead the marketing department here at Shamir. The past few years has transformed the way many people live their lives and perform daily routine activities. Our world has changed, and specifically our visual habits. People have exponentially increased their usage and enjoyment of streaming services like Netflix and Hulu, and many consumers are utilizing portable digital devices. Virtual platforms have become the norm for conducting meetings through Zoom or Google Meet, and research has shown that there are over 475 million meeting participants per day between these major virtual meeting platforms. As you and your practice have adapted to our new world, so has Shamir. In this session, we will introduce you to two new products that deliver innovative solutions through market and big data research. We have several special guest speakers who will introduce our new AR Glacier expression and discuss updates to our flagship progressive lens, Autograph Intelligence. Enjoy the program and learn how these new products make patients see better, look better, feel better, and connect better. And now we've invited the Mentalist duo to entertain and amaze you. Trust me, you're going to want to turn your cameras on for this. So please, everyone, turn your cameras on now. Jeff and Tessa Everson are one of the very few married couples in history who have mastered the rare and mysterious talent known as second sight. If you're not familiar with the Eversons, take a look.
In this day and age of electronic communication, seeing someone that does it in the old style and seeing how much better that is than the new style is just breathtaking. We worked for years and didn't get 1/1000th of where they are. The kind of mental gymnastics that are done on this are unbelievable. This is one of those rare acts where the more you know about it, the more amazing it is. This act is so good, I want them to be working forever and doing this act everywhere. I can say this without any fear of contradiction. I have never seen better at what you're doing, and it is just fabulous.
Please welcome mentalist duo, TheEvasons.
So thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Phil, for the introduction. and it is just great to be here with you today. Everybody, we're coming to you live from a little island in Canada. My name is Jeff Everson, and this is my amazing wife.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tessa, and when eyes connect, minds connect, and amazing things can happen. So we invite you now to open your video screens, open your eyes, and open your minds.
Because what you're about to see, well, first of all, it's very interactive.
Yes.
We call it second sight. The idea is we communicate with our minds, and we use perception and intuition in what we're about to do. It's a bit of a challenge here in the digital world, especially the way we're connecting here today on our screens.
But Shamir has made it so much easier with Glacier Expression. Let's show you right now. We're going to do a switch.
So we'll get rid of those and put on our Glacier Expression.
We see you so much better, and I get a feeling we're going to make some strong connections today.
So Glacier Expression allows us to see the best that we can, and with that in mind, it's a little odd, but Tessa is about to lose her vision because we're going to put this blindfold on her. In a live show, we pass this out to somebody in the audience to examine and check it to make sure that it's solid. Best I can do is with a flashlight here, bright light from behind. As you can see, no light penetrates the 4 layers of fabric. So when Tessa places this over her eyes, it shuts out her sight completely. 100% darkness.
So watch closely as I put the blindfold on, and Jeff will give me a hand here.
All right, from
There.
behind,
Yeah.
watch closely, covers her sight
Yes.
on both sides. How's that, Tess?
That sounds good. Feels
All right,
good.
I'll tie it nice and tight.
Great.
Hold that knot. You
Got it?
And we'll complete the knot.
Perfect. Now,
And
I'm going to...
there you are, everybody.
But I am going to
Shut it
switch
up.
cameras.
Okay, here we go.
Just so I'm not looking at the screen.
And that's just about
Perfect,
We'll
perfect.
switch the view right over here.
Excellent, because I know you can see me, but I can't see you. And what's great about my blindfold is similar to Glacier Expression. It reduces the distractions and helps me to focus and pick up your thoughts more clearly. Now, I want to show you what's around me. Jeff, do you have the webcam?
I do have this little
Yes.
camera. So everybody, you can see where Tessa is behind me. I'm going to show you right down all the way.
To my glittery shoes, what can I say?
And there she is. There are no monitors.
None
there
at
are no
all.
screens. The only camera is the camera in front of her right here. But she has nothing else to let her see what's going on in front, as well as the blindfold completely. She is not able to see what I can see happening out in front. And so now, if you're all ready, Tess.
I am.
Good. Let's go further. Who has some money? Is there anybody in the audience, any participant with a large bill?
You're
If
speaking
you
my
have
language.
paper money.
Yes.
Any money, any bill from any country. It really doesn't matter. If you have some money, please just hold it up in front of the camera. We're going to show you something quite interesting with a bill. Could be a $100 bill, could be a 50, a 20.
Oh, don't
it
go
really
too
doesn't
low.
matter. The bigger the bill, the better she gets, by the way.
Because you will have stronger focus and attention.
I do see somebody with a bill holding it with a virtual background. It's going to be a little challenging with that because when you hold it up, it will start. We will start losing things. But I see somebody here held a bill up just a moment ago, and there we are. That's it, definitely. For this gentleman, I think if you turn your camera, your microphone on, sir, we should be able to hear you loud and clear. Hello there.
Hi.
Oh, good. I can hear you too. I can't see you, but I have a feeling. I think it depends on who's calling you. Do you prefer to go by Andrew or Andy?
Andrew, please.
Andrew,
This is-
absolutely.
And Andrew, just to verify, we've never met you before. We have nothing set up. Nothing is prearranged between us in any way. Is this true?
Absolutely.
Good, good. Hold the bill up. I'd like everybody to make sure that we can see this nice and clear. It's very important that you have a good focus on your camera. Is there any way you could bring it a little closer? Maybe just hold it steady for a moment. Now, everybody can see this. This is perfect. And yeah, just don't move it back and forth. Ah, yes, perfect. And Andrew, you're going to focus on this bill with Tessa.
Yes, indeed. So let's start at the very beginning and think about your bill for me.
Remember the value, and also she's going to call the serial number. You're not going to mention it. You can face the serial number towards yourself.
And just think of what it's worth, nothing else. I have a feeling that we got lucky with you, Andrew. I believe you chose a $50 bill.
It is a $50 bill, by the
Good.
way. Yes, Andrew?
That's correct.
And can't you focus on the serial number, Andrew? No two in the world the same. As Tessa says a few things, I'm going to record what she says on this big pad so everybody can see. All set, Tessa.
That's right. I need your help, Andrew. And I want you to look at all those numbers. Start at the very beginning. Nobody ever pays attention to serial numbers, so it is a challenge. I think with you now, a 1. Is that the first number?
That's correct.
Okay. And after that, a 4.
Yep.
3.
Correct.
I'm not. Oh, is that another 3?
Yep.
Oh, good. We're doing good. You have a great mind, Andrew. After that, a 9.
Correct.
A 1.
Correct.
Oh, why boo. Yeah, that's a 3.
Yep.
It's the last one. A 1.
You got it.
Very good.
Turn it around and show us, Andrew. Did she get the entire serial number? I see it really is. I'm looking at it. You got it all, Tess.
Except for the letters. And I believe there are 3 letters. I think there's an M, I believe an L, and then a B. How did I do?
Nailed it.
100%.
Excellent.
Thank you very much for helping out, Andrew. Everybody, a big round of applause for Andrew.
I think I can take this blindfold off now.
off.
Thank you so much, everybody. Let me come and join you over here.
Could you imagine what it would be like to be married to somebody like this?
Marvelous.
We have no secrets between us, everybody.
Actually, he has no secrets between us.
That's very true when you think about it.
When we come back, we're going to show you something really amazing that has never been done before virtually.
And what Shamir is doing has never been done before. Right now, we're going to hand it over to Kimmy Chico, who's going to talk a little bit more about Glacier expression. Take it over, Kimmy.
Thanks, guys. That was an awesome act there. I was very impressed. Good afternoon or evening, everyone, depending on where you are. My name is Kimmy Chesko, and I'd love to start by telling you a little bit more about myself so that we have a little bit of context before diving into some of the research details that we did over the last several months. So I studied at Carnegie Mellon, and I focused on psychology with a double minor in business administration and photography. Over the last 12 years, I have done a lot of user experience research focusing on the UX, or the user experience part, as well as the user interaction design. I am trained in microfacial expressions and body gestures. I'm also a certified forensic interviewer, and I have experience working for both agencies as well as consultancies. So I've run the gamut of working on projects with different industries across different platforms and on different devices. I now have my own research consultancy, and I'm an advisor for Sanitas Advisors, which is how I was lucky enough to end up meeting the folks here at Shamir. Moving on to the real kind of meat for today is I want you all to think about how much time you think that you all have to make your first impression. And as you're thinking about that, I'm sorry to disappoint, but you only have 7 seconds, and that is it. In fact, you know, a lot happens in those 7 seconds that we're not thinking of consciously. When you meet someone for the first time, you're making quick subconscious assessments that are entirely based on how a person looks and behaves. There is even some research that suggests you don't even have that much time to make that impression, down to 1/10 of a second before people start judging and determining traits such as someone's trustworthiness. In a series of experiments that were conducted by Princeton psychologists, researchers found that it takes that 1/10 of a second to just start forming those impressions of a stranger just by looking at their face. And even more surprisingly, they also found that looking at a stranger's face for a longer period of time did not significantly alter those impressions, although it did boost people's confidence in their judgments of those people. So why is it that we're all so quick to judge? The answer lies in evolutionary psychology. From the pre-hominoid humans living 6 million years ago to the Gen Z kids who are making their careers on TikTok today, humans have been living, surviving, and reproducing, all while slowly evolving. Simply put, it is survival of the fittest, and over time, evolution favors strategies and characteristics that help those who are at least as successful as themselves. So any physical, mental, or social advantage that helps someone live longer or become a more desirable partner ultimately gets passed down more frequently and inevitably becomes a more dominant trait. So why does this matter to us now? Evolution is a slow process, and there are many traits that were a genetic advantage for our ancestors hundreds of years ago that are still programmed into our DNA today. An example of an evolved trait that developed millions of years ago and has continued to serve humans today is this ability to assess people. So the faster and the more accurately that our caveman ancestors were able to do this, the more likely that they were able to figure out who is really trustworthy, who has malintent towards them or their families, and the stronger the support group that they were able to create. And as we all know, as a result of all of that, then they were also then able to live longer, have more children, and raise them to be healthy and safe for a longer number of years. Now, I mentioned earlier that I'm a trained forensic interviewer. What this means is that I have formal training in microfacial expressions and body gestures, as well as speech, intonation, and cadence. We have 43 muscles in our face that work together to create what many people say is up to 10,000 possible expressions. And of these, many trace back to our primitive roots. Some scientists say that our smile, for example, evolved from the way that primates show off their teeth to negotiate social status and establish dominance. The beauty of the skill is that it's not relevant for just Americans living in the United States. Research has shown that this intrinsic ability to assess emotion and judge facial expressions is relevant in humans all over the world. Researchers at UC Berkeley and Google used machine learning tech to analyze facial expressions in 6 million YouTube video clips from people in 144 different countries. The most amazing part of that research was that it showed that all these different cultures and all these people living in all these different countries share at least 70% of the same facial expressions used in response to different social and emotional situations. These findings mean that the universality of human expression does transcend geographic and cultural boundaries around the world. So now that we've established that humans all over the world understand similar emotions of people around them, by reading and interpreting facial expressions, both consciously and subconsciously, it is important to note that the most genuine emotions do involve some level of movement around the eyes, whether that's here in the orbicularis oculi muscle, or your eyebrows above your eye, or any other part of your face that is pulling those muscles. So if you see the movement there, for example, if you see the crow's feet to the outsides of your eyes, if you are genuinely smiling, or if you don't see that muscle contract and you just see your lips move for a forced smile, all of this is relaying very important information to viewers about how that person truly feels in that moment. The reality is that we don't necessarily have to get formal training to have a gut feeling about someone. And this is because we are genetically programmed to subconsciously protect ourselves and judge people around us quickly based on whatever information is available to us, even if that is only a 1/10 of a second's worth of information. Now, as was mentioned earlier, we are living in a world that has been greatly impacted by the ongoing COVID pandemic. We have to assess emotion while we are also constrained by pixel density and dimensions of screens, our home office Wi-Fi strength, lighting, reflection, and video lags. We can only see about 15% of people's bodies on screen, and the quality of that information is further reduced by smaller screen sizes and even smaller dimensions of video feeds if the team that you're collaborating with is sharing their screen. So it has become more important than ever to find ways to trust and connect with people in this new dynamic that is so deeply rooted in the digital medium. And this transition has shifted our focus on connection, forcing us to work harder to establish it, maintain it, and as a result, prioritize it. So several months ago, Shamir came to Sanitas Advisors with a very interesting research proposition. They asked us to help them better understand whether different lens coatings affect how people see others when they're meeting strangers and creating first impressions. They had a feeling that people might respond differently and wanted some answers that were backed by research data to clarify if this is true, and if so, how lens clarity affects viewer perceptions specifically. Given the role that evolutionary psychology plays in how we form impressions of people, coupled with my expertise in microfacial expression reading, I thought that there was a lot of momentum behind this idea. So I designed and facilitated 2 research experiments to put this theory to the test. For the first one, we hypothesized that the better someone can see someone's eyes when meeting them for the first time, the better they'll be able to read their emotions, gauge their intent, And as a result, the more positively it will impact their first impression. This would include how connected they feel, how their perceived trustworthiness and likability is, and potentially any elicited empathy. Due to the current Zoom-centric environment, I decided to adapt our research to be online for the first study. I conducted a remote and unmoderated research study with an online survey. And to capture the essence of glare and light obstruction online, as well as to account for possible effects of gender and eye color on impression, which have been in other secondary research efforts been indicated as confounding variables, we ended up recording 12 videos total, 2 men and 2 women, 2 of which had dark eyes and 2 had light eyes. And each of them would be talking in the video while wearing one of those 3 pairs of glasses. No lens coating, Glacier plus lenses, and Glacier expression lenses. All 4 subjects ended up wearing all 3 lens coatings, or the lack thereof. And I created background stories for each subject as context so that the pretend encounters would feel, like they hypothetically occurred in a very familiar and neutral service industry setting. And this would then reduce chances of impacting perception. In this way, we could then focus on allowing users to connect with each subject as they would genuinely in a real environment, and we could focus on determining whether these changes in lenses truly do impact impression. One final part in this research effort was that we had viewers look at a static image of the subject, and every participant then had to select all the adjectives that they associated with that person. So one final thing about how the survey was put together. So we focused on 3 dimensions: trust, likability, and connection. And I came up with Likert scale and behavioral measure questions that targeted that trustworthiness, connection, and likability or empathy created for that subject. Participants then had to answer 1 question for each of these categories after watching every video. At the end, we collected responses from 1,288 different people who were specifically selected to represent our North American audience. This just means that the group was aged between 18 and 99 years old. They were gender balanced between men and women and geographically balanced across regions in the United States. Their incomes were also skewed to reflect the US Census. When comparing the effects of meeting people wearing Glacier expression lenses versus glasses with no coatings, the impact on the perceived trustworthiness was very significant in some cases. And overall, the research findings were very validating. People were connecting with and forming impressions quickly of the subjects that they met online, and they were able to do so despite it being digital and short. The data suggested that the anti-glare coatings from the Glacier expression lenses did result in more positive first impressions across all 3 dimensions of connection, likability, and trust. If you look at the specific numbers, connection increased by 16% with those who are wearing expression, and it was 2.5 times more capable of eliciting empathy than compared to no lens coatings. So this was incredibly exciting for the team looking at the data with me after the fact. So despite having options to select from 20 positive and negative adjectives to describe subjects who were viewed wearing Glacier expression lenses, it was very exciting to see that all 1,288 respondents consistently associated positive adjectives with the subjects. And on top of that, trustworthy consistently topped the respondents' list of adjectives that were associated with subjects. And it was in at least the top 7 adjectives that were used to describe all 4 of the subjects. So the result for this round of research was encouraging. And although impacts of lens coatings were evident in the research findings, we wanted to see if there was a significant difference between the current high-end lens coatings and Glacier expression lenses. And on top of that, we also wanted to see if lens clarity would be amplified if people were meeting in person as opposed to through a screen. So therein was born the second round of research. We had similar hypotheses, but we focused on 2 dimensions specifically: a viewer's connection to people that they meet for the first time, as well as their perceived trustworthiness. And then looking to see if there is any difference between how people see and feel when they're wearing those lenses as well. We added an activity to target that specifically. So I conducted this round of research with participants recruited from different coffee shops around the city in Pittsburgh, where I live. And I introduced each of them to two different subjects. One would be wearing Glacier expression lenses, and the other would be wearing Glacier Plus. The question strategy in the study took into account the same cognitive and social biases as the previous one did the month prior. Then the final activity in this in-person research effort involved people trying on the two different pairs of glasses, much like Renan did in the video earlier during this webinar. And we had them provide their feedback and their preferences for each of those lenses. The reason we did that, and I think this is so important to highlight, is that the 4 subjects that were used in the videos for the first research all commented on how well they could see and how much they really liked that Glacier expression lens pair of glasses when it was time for them to record their video with that pair of glasses. That feedback was completely unprompted, and it was not part of the research. So in addition to gathering data on how people perceive others, we decided to include this structured activity to more formally gather feedback on how people feel when they wear the glasses with different lens coatings as well. The research for this this phase of research was also really exciting. One of the key takeaways from the lens clarity did show that there was a direct correlation in clarity to positive impressions. And specifically, participants perceived more trustworthiness and a higher sense of connection to the people who were wearing Glacier expression lenses compared to those wearing Glacier Plus. And this was regardless of whether the person wearing those glasses was male, female, had dark eyes, light eyes, or was the first or the second person that they met in that session. Another way to grasp the significance in those discrepancies of impression, specifically for connection, is this visualization of participant answers. So you can see out of 100% of those answers for people rating meeting a subject with Glacier expression, that is the composition. And the very, very small percent of people were not sure whether they felt connection, but a whopping 93.3% said that they did feel some level of connection, and nobody said that there was no connection at all. Compared to with Glacier Plus, 40% were on the fence, 7.5% said no connection whatsoever, and almost half only felt that there was some connection. So that, the discrepancies in these responses are statistically significant. We found a very similar lineup of responses for trust. So the composition of all these answers also show that impressions of connection and the discrepancies in those responses are also statistically significant. Additionally, the statistical significance of that discrepancy was much higher than when we conducted the first research effort via online survey. This further validates that the impact of lens clarity is heightened when experienced in person. And as lens coatings improve across the ophthalmic market and become more readily available and worn by customers, the status quo is going to increase, and consumer expectations are going to increase with that as better lens coatings become table stakes. That exposure to better lens qualities of people wearing glasses around them is going to start negatively impacting how people look at others who are wearing high-end lens coatings that are currently accepted today. And after weathering a pandemic for the last 2 years with quarantines and isolated work environments, finding ways to connect and understand people around us matters more than ever. Of the various things that people can control that have been proven to impact first impressions and connections positively, lens clarity is an easy and affordable way to start things off on the right track. Now, to wrap up all of the research, I do want to end this on a high note. And I want to say that in addition to those parts of the research that focused on how users felt about people who are wearing the lenses, we also captured that data on how people felt wearing those lenses. And an incredible 87.5% of all participants in the second research study said that they preferred wearing glasses with Glacier expression lenses over ones with Glacier Plus. And this preference was accompanied by all of this amazing feedback. People that were wanting to rush out from that session to go buy the glasses. And the amazing thing too to note is that none of these glasses had any prescription. They were just regular lenses, and the only thing that was differentiated between them was the lens coatings. And people were even questioning whether there was a script because they felt like they could see better too. So now I'd love to pass it off to Mark, who's going to dive into some of those technical details around why Glacier expression lenses feel better to wear over some of the other options with different lens coatings.
Thank you so much, Kimmy, and thank you all for joining us to learn a little bit more about Glacier Expressions. So Shamir has long time been an innovator in the optical industry with such designs as Autograph Intelligence, Relax, and our blue light protector Blue Zero most recently. Glacier Expression is the most recent innovation that Shamir's released. When thinking about anti-reflective treatments, in my 19 years in the industry, I haven't noticed too much change throughout time. I've noticed marginal increases in change from product to product as time passes on. Glacier Expressions is truly an innovation in the anti-reflective space. Shamir is paying attention to the trends. We're paying attention to how people are using their vision, what they're doing to make better and more evolved products. Glacier Expression has been developed to meet the needs of our changing world. And speaking on our changing world, it has changed so much and very, very quickly. When we think about our work environments, we are working remotely. We are working virtually using laptops, desktops, cell phones, and iPads. The way that we communicate with our family and friends a lot of times is also virtual too. With the rise of COVID-19, we found ourselves isolated, and this has really accelerated the way that we've been living in this virtual world. When speaking on the virtual meeting platforms that most of us use quite frequently, a lot of us take selfies, a lot of us are using social media to connect with friends and family, and when working, we're using Zoom calls, Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams. When we're doing these things, lens reflections prevent people from seeing our eyes clearly, making that visual connection. Glacier Expression is built for us to see better, look better, and feel better. With Glacier Expressions, we see and feel the best. It provides better vision that's relaxed and more comfortable, allowing us to be more productive and look our best. Glacier Expression allows us to see better and improves contrast sensitivity by about 25% on average. 55% of users have also reported a shorter reaction time. When doing the research leading up to the development of Glacier Expression, we looked into signal to noise ratio. And if you're not familiar with that term, signal to noise ratio is a measure used in science and engineering that compares the level of a signal to the level of background noise. A couple of good examples of this would be, I experience this every day on my drive home from work. I am driving through the spot about 5 miles from my house, and if I'm on the phone, that call drops immediately. I enter one of those dead zones. As soon as I get through it, the signal to my cell phone improves and I can resume that phone call. We've also probably all shared the experience where we're driving through maybe a more remote part of the country and we get static on our radio signal. We hear that staticky fuzz sound. When we're able to tune that dial a little bit, we can increase the signal and get rid of that noise. Another great example is this picture right here. In this image, what we're seeing is light pollution from a city on the left. And we were watching it dissipate the further that we move away from the city. We can all think of a time that we might have been looking up at the stars while we're at our house, and then being a little bit further away from the city, maybe camping or something like that, and looking up and seeing way more stars in the sky. That's signal to noise ratio in regards to light pollution. Shamir developed visual noise reduction technology and incorporated it into Glacier Expression. When considering signal to noise ratio and top anti-reflective ARs in our industry, Glacier Expression is almost double the next leading competitor when considering this data due to our visual noise reduction technology. With Glacier Expression and decreasing signal to noise ratio, we're able to increase light transmittance. When we increase light transmittance, we're improving contrast sensitivity, providing sharper vision, better detail resolution, increased color perception, and that allows us for that faster reaction time. Increased light transmittance also leads to increased retinal illumination, improved visual acuity for a relaxed visual system with less eye strain. With Glacier Expression, we look better. And this is probably my favorite image in this entire slide deck. I want you all to take a look at the model that's represented in this photograph. When I look at this model, what I see is eyes. I see emotion through eye contact. Then I notice her style and physical appearance. But when I look, I'm making that visual connection eye to eye, and this is a beautiful example of what Glacier Expression provides. When patients choose to come in and see you in your practice, they have a couple of expectations. One of them, of course, is to get a frame style that's suitable for their personality, but they're also coming in primarily to see better. With Glacier Expression, we're not seeing the distraction of lens glare, making it much more clear and easy to see through. Now, I've had the ability to wear Glacier Expression for a couple of months now, and working in the optical profession, I interact with eye care professionals every day. When they look at me and they ask me questions like, what frames are you wearing and things like that, that's kind of a common question that I get asked. But now when I'm wearing Glacier Expression, they say, hey, what are you wearing? They're actually referring to my lenses, which is a really unique experience. When it comes to looks, we're going to talk about how people see you and how people look at you. Seeing you is your aesthetic appearance. Looking at you is the perception of you. The aesthetic appearance of Glacier Expression minimizes reflections by shifting the reflectance peak. One thing we get a lot less of are those annoying screen flections that we notice a lot of times when taking selfies or interfacing through like a Zoom call where that screen is reflecting off the lens and back into the camera, inhibiting your ability to see my eyes. This is a beautiful image of Glacier Expression versus Glacier Plus. Now, Glacier Plus is an incredible anti-reflective in our industry, one of the top rated when it comes to all metrics. I want you guys to take a look at the bottom set of pictures, Glacier Plus. What we're seeing in this image is reflection from a fluorescent light above, and we're also noticing the photographer at the bottom who's taking the picture. When we compare this to Glacier Expression, those reflections are minimized so much. It's significant and it's very, very easy to tell. And if you've ever seen Glacier Plus, it's a very, very non-residual anti-reflective. This is how much better we've gotten when it comes to Glacier Expression by minimizing those reflections by 70%. When it comes to eye contact, a lot of people can develop their perception of you. Eye contact and the ability to see our eyes is proven that we can show emotions in that way. We've all heard terms like the eyes are the window to the soul, look me in the eyes and tell me that, and the eyes never lie. Right now, this is even more relevant because we're wearing masks quite frequently. And when we take away our mouth, nose, we're taking away half of our face. But I can tell you from personal experience that I'm able to tell people's emotion directly by eye contact, whether someone's smiling, laughing, happy, sad, and in some cases mad, but we really can exhibit emotion through eye contact. And with Glacier Expression, we're able to provide that at a much higher level. Glacier Expression was designed to help us feel better. When we're able to filter out the background noise, it's easier on our visual system to see through the lens, and it provides less eye fatigue and eye strain. Going back to Kimmy and the research that we've done to understand the effects of seeing eyes more clearly with Glacier Expression, it's incredible. There's no other anti-reflective on the market that's providing these additional benefits like appearing more trustworthy, providing better connection, and being more likable. When we choose to fit Glacier Expression, the wearer will experience these subconscious benefits, and that's a huge, huge resource for anyone wearing the product. Now, we always rely on the help of eye care professionals to help us understand the market, to help us make that next innovation and to understand how our products can be more sophisticated and relevant for our changing world. With Glacier Expression, we did a blind independent research study with the product with 100 eye care professionals from all over the world. Now, I was actually fortunate enough to have people in my territory take part in this trial. And everyone that I fit Glacier Expressions on, again, not knowing what the product was at all, was absolutely blown away by the wearing experience. They didn't know if this was an anti-reflective, if this was going to be a lens design or a new material. They had no idea. And some of the responses I got were excellent. Some people thought that it was a newer lens design, providing a much clearer and wider visual zone, when in fact, it was just an anti-reflective treatment. Now, 98% of these eye care professionals said the lens provided almost no reflection. 99% reported having clearer lenses than they'd had before. 100% said that their vision was comfortable and sharper. 98% will recommend it to their patients. That's 96% total satisfaction. Now, you might be a person who has tried Glacier Expression in our trial over this past summer. If you were someone that has tried Glacier Expression and you were a part of that trial, put a note in our chat. We'd love to connect with you and understand how you feel about the product. We've designed Glacier Expressions for absolutely everyone. It is the most relevant product for today's changed virtual and physical world. Glacier Expression allows us to look better, see better, feel better, and connect better. And when we put that into perspective of what other anti-reflective treatments are offering in today's market, they're really only offering for us to see better. This product has so many additional benefits through our research and understanding of the way that our world has changed and how we can make something better for wearer experience. Thank you all for connecting with us regarding Glacier Expressions. My name is Mark Rutledge, and it was a pleasure to chat with you all. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Doron, and I've been a photographer for over 20 years. Photographing people wearing glasses has always been a major challenge. Glare and reflection coming from a model's glasses can be very disturbing. Having to change a model's pose in order to avoid them always leads to disappointing results. But then Shamir came up with this new coating and my work suddenly got a lot easier. Finally, I could see the model's each and every expression as the reflection from the glasses had so dramatically reduced. From where I stand, this coating is a game changer. Can't wait to see what you guys are up with next.
And we're back. I see some of you have just joined us. We are the TheEvasons, the mentalist duo. You know, just like you, we're all spending more and more time on our digital, our devices, and the digital life is really affecting us. And Shamir's autograph intelligence changes as we do, updating technology as we evolve.
And right now we're going to try something with another digital device that we all spend way too much time on. How many people have their phone with them? If you have a mobile phone, just hold it up to the screen so that we can see, because you're actually going to interact with your screens. Going to be really cool. If your camera is turned on, you'll want to turn it on for this one to get involved, everybody, with your cameras. Open your calculator app on your camera right now and just follow along with us. If you have your calculator open, please show it up to the screen so that we can see. Everybody should be 0 right now. Fantastic. We're going to bring some people at random. Let's just try with this person right over here. Hello. If you could unmute your microphone, please, and we'll just find out who you are. We're going to do this rather quickly with some numbers. Are you there? Can we hear you?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. What are your names, please?
David and Dan.
Great. So we're going to start with you. I want, let's say David or Danny. Who's Danny? Raise your hand. Okay, good. Danny, hold your phone up to the screen. Very important. I want you to think of a random, let's make it a 5-digit number. 5 digits, your choice. Never met you before. This is random. Punch them into the phone right now. Enter them. 5 digits into your screen. Everybody can see this, and we're all going to follow along. Any 5 digits at random. Danny, everybody please keep holding your phones up so that we can see who has the phones. Show us what you've got. Show us the number. Oh, interesting. 99,999. It's a good number. Everybody write 99999. 99,999. Everybody enter that into your phone. If you have it, please just show us that you've done that, please.
Good.
Excellent.
I see some people. Great.
So I'm going to bring up this person right over here. You'll have to hold your phone kind of like in front of your body. Is it Zohar? Am I saying your name correctly, Zohar? Good. Because you have the virtual background, if you hold it maybe up in front of you, this should be good. Zohar, please think of a random 6-digit number. Zohar, we're going to build. I want you to think of a 6-digit number. Enter the plus sign. If you didn't do plus, enter plus. Good. Everybody should hit the plus sign on your calculators, and you're going to add another 6-digit number. And let us know when you have this. Zohar, don't press anything yet, but hold it in front of your body. 134. Move it over in front of your face or your chest. 134. Good.
There.
679. 134 679. Everybody, 134 679. Show us if you've got this on your screen right now.
All right. How about Ricky?
Thank you, Zohar. I do appreciate that you're helping us out. We can get the, is this
lovely?
Ricky, hit the plus sign, Ricky. One more time, hit the plus sign. Everybody hit the plus sign. Show us what you've got. It should be the same as what I have. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 right now. Good, good, good. This is working.
Ricky?
Ricky, is it Ricky?
Yes.
Are you unmuted, Ricky? Can we hear you? Unmute on your microphone. Let's just do it the silent way, like the old movies. Ricky, you enter in, what do? We did 5, we did 6. You do a 7-digit number, Ricky. 7 digits at random. Needs to be random numbers here. Everybody should have hit the plus sign on their calculator. And Ricky, show us what you've got before you press anything. Don't press anything, but just show us the number that you did. 7 digits, please, Ricky. Okay, now let us see. Hold it in front of yourself. We can't see. Move back a little bit, Ricky. This is an odd count. Oh, we almost had it. Forward, I'll tell you when. And maybe down and back. There's nothing we could. Up a little bit, Ricky. We're not seeing it move back. Can you get rid of the virtual background, Ricky? Oh, you almost had it. You almost.
Why don't you just tell us what the numbers are?
We see it. So is that 2? Ricky, tell us the number, please.
2589.
2589.
651.
651. And that is 7 digits. Everybody enter this number into your calculators right now. Please enter that into your calculators. That is a 5. We had a 6. Okay, good. Hit the equal sign, everybody. So we should have a total. Hit the equal sign. We should have a total. You should be the same as me. Show us if you are. Good. Don't do anything for a moment I'm going to hit the plus sign because I want to make this bigger. At Shamir, we always go big. So I'm going to hit the plus sign. Nobody do this yet. I'll just hit the plus sign and watch what I do. 8 digits I'll do at random. I won't even look at the screen. 8 digits, beginning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I honestly just hit the screen at random. Everybody punch this number in. 11, hit the plus sign, hit your plus sign, and then 11,514,802. Hit the plus sign and then 11,514,802. Show us if you've got that on your screen right now. Hit the equal sign, everybody. Hit the equal sign. And do you all have this number? Does everybody have the same number? Fantastic. This is the interesting thing. You will agree that there is no way at random that anybody could know who would think of a 5-digit random number, a 6-digit, a 7-digit, my number punched in blindly, and yet we all have 14,339,131. I don't know if Andrew is still here. Andrew joined us the first time we were out. Andrew, if you are still there, please turn your camera on. I think I just saw him, so I'm going to bring him up here right now.
Gotcha, Andrew.
And here you are, Andrew. Are you with us? Did you get this number as well, Andrew? Do you remember this number? Show us the bill that you held up earlier, Andrew, and everybody check this out. The numbers randomly entered into the calculator equal the number that was on Andrew's bill earlier in the show. Blows my mind. Andrew, thank you so much for helping out. These are some powerful technologies at Shamir, everybody.
We can't begin to explain how this amazing connection just happened.
But I think I know who can.
Who's that?
Matt Ballister, I think he's got an update on autograph intelligence. So hello, Matt. How was that even possible? Please explain how that was done, Matt. We'll leave it right over there to you.
I have no idea how you guys do that, but I do understand the ALN, so I'm just going to stick to that. So the autograph intelligence, the evolving lens, the learning lens, this lens has been really, really popular. It's an everyday progressive lens, and it's been winning awards all over the world. But the really important thing about this lens is it's designed, it's implemented using artificial intelligence. And that ability to use the artificial intelligence to help us use this lens design has led this to be this learning design. We have this ability to take and very quickly adapt to changes in the world. Now, we saw during the Glacier expression presentation how much the world has changed and how the Glacier expression really plays into that and gets you better vision, less reflections. Well, the AI is the second part of that puzzle. This learning design, which has been an award-winning design all around the world, isn't really changing as far as we're sticking with all the great things we had before. So it's built on this really, really strong platform. So it's still going to be the best everyday lens in the market. What's changing is the IntelliCorridor is going to help us with the artificial intelligence adapt to the way we're living our lives today, because how we live our lives today, and this meeting is kind of proof of concept, right, is very different than how we lived our lives in 2018 when first AI came out. So this everyday lens is going to adapt to the way we're living today. So if we look at today's world, it really is a digital life. It's affecting everybody. It's not just for business, it's for home use. I had a grandson born my first grandson born during the pandemic. So for the first few months, the only way I was able to see him was over Zoom, over FaceTime, things like that. So this digital life has really affected all of us. And artificial intelligence is a big part of this digital life, right? We have these know-me products. If you use any streaming services, those are a great example of know-me products and how artificial intelligence can help kind of guide our choices and help us into better choices. You always get this chance to rate a show. Did you like the show you're watching? Did you not like it? And the algorithms and the artificial intelligence use that to decide what other shows it should present to you. So we're using it a little bit differently than that, but we are using artificial intelligence, giving the lens the ability to learn our visual habits and then redesign the lens based on that. So when we look at this, we do have a couple of parts to this. One is big data. The ability of artificial intelligence to take huge amounts of data and sort through it really, really quickly and really efficiently and spot trends, spot patterns, because that's really what you're trying to do. Then you've got all these powerful Shamir technologies, and all the technologies that were in that 2018 release of the AI, you've all come to know and love and make it the best everyday lens on the market, are still in here. So close-up technology, which allows you to take a near PD, so for the first time in a progressive lens from us, you can actually make sure that they stay right in the center of their intermediate and land in the center of their near. Natural posture, which made this lens really great for reading. Okay? The AI engine is still there doing its thing. Continuous design is still there doing its thing. EyePoint AI has gotten even better, even less distortion. These solid technologies, this beautiful foundation this lens was designed on, is still there. So it's still going to be the best everyday lens. But let's face it, even in an everyday lens, we have two things. We all know somebody spending 6 hours on a computer would be better off with a near variable lens, right? Every single one of them. But we also know there's still an awful lot of patients out there that think they should only have one pair of glasses. And there's also time, even for those of us that have those secondary and tertiary pairs of glasses, that we still use our digital zone a lot when we have on our regular everyday progressives. So the fact that we're using that more means we need to take that into account in the new design. Now, one of the things that's really interesting to me is when the AI came out, we said to the market, listen, this is going to give you a chance to expand this everyday lens into your lower ad powers. Lower ad powers, emerging presbyopes, have always had some trouble with progressives. So they've been kind of ignored part of the market. Well, the market listened, and we proved it was true. The people that did this, 57% more young presbyopes. In some cases, in some ad powers, the amount of orders doubled. Okay? So we saw a huge increase, and we saw it be very, very successful. That's a really exciting result for us because it shows us that we have a lens here that people can adapt to very, very quickly. The other part of this is big data. How much data was collected? Over 6,000 people in various countries, new consumer big data stuff, looking for all these trends. And I think, we've read a lot about how we've now topped the 13-hour-a-day mark, where we're using digital devices, tablets, phones, computers, that kind of thing. It's become really part of our everyday life, and it's cross-generational. It doesn't matter now, at this point, whether you're 75 or 80 or 60 or 40 or 35, everybody's doing more. So when we look at it, this is for those of you that are familiar with the AR, you kind of recognize this. The colors are a little different than they used to be, but you recognize this is what people are saying at the various visual ages are important to them. So over on the left, that's the 2018 release of the AI based on the 2017 findings of, hey, this is how important my digital zone is. That's the blue in the box. And this is how important my ad power is to me, meaning this is how often I'm using it. Now, if we look all the way across the board, it's increased for everybody. Autograph Intelligence, the update, is taking this new data into account and saying, hey, we can make your patients more comfortable because we know, for instance, younger presbyopes, I think we all, they always use their digital devices a lot, so of course they're going to use it more. But guess what? They're also using their reading area more. So we had to increase the reading area for our younger presbyopes. Our older presbyopes who said, hey, I always have my ad powers always been really important to me. Those 3 ads, 3 1/4 ads, that's pretty obvious to most of us, right? But they said, I had a big increase in my digital usage. So this increase really is affecting everybody across the board, all visual ages. We're able to use that IntelliCorridor to address these needs. That basically says this is going to be the size and shape of each area. This is how deep it's going to be. This is how wide it's going to be. The AI engine takes all these different things into account, takes all these different hundreds of thousands of possibilities, and continuous design makes sure that we have a lens that evolves with your patient, that actually keeps track of changes in your patient's visual needs as they age and reacts to that. Because in all honesty, since your patient's vision changes, the lens has to change in order to give them actually a consistent experience. When we look at what we've done here for the younger presbyopes, for the mid presbyopes, for the senior presbyopes, this is a graph, a power graph. You can see all of them are getting a little slower introduction of power. This means a much simpler lens to adapt to. For your low presbyopes, it's going to be even easier for them, even though this was probably the easiest lens on the market already for them to adapt to. This is going to make it even better. You're not going to have those young presbyopes going, oh, my distance is great, my near is great, get rid of the stuff in the middle. They're going to like it because we've adapted it to them. For your mid presbyopes, those 2, 2.25, 275s, 250s, this lens is going to make it much easier for them to transition from older technology into this technology. And for your seniors, they're going to have a deeper digital zone than they ever had before because they're using it. So smoother and faster power progressions, keeping that power profile really, really close to what it was before, just making tweaks based on how we've changed our lifestyle. You're going to see the digital zone for everybody increase in width, and for your seniors also increase in depth. You're also going to see an increase in width of the reading zone, because one of the things this showed us was our younger presbyopes were spending more time in that 14, 15-inch zone. The really amazing part is you're actually getting less unwanted astigmatism. And considering we're already under 1-to-1, that's really remarkable, particularly when you look at that max cylinder. You're going to see this, your patients perceive that as distortion. So this is a lens that's going to start out perfect for your patient, and it's going to remain perfect as they go through their life. So comfortable far vision, dynamic vision, lower max cylinder, digital distance vision zone is getting wider and deeper, and wider fields of view in their reading zone. So some selling points, you'll get a lot of this information from your reps as they come in and talk to you about it, but, oops, sorry about that. Talk to people about the benefits. Talk to them about how, listen, you're going to get the best vision experience possible, quality vision, and the best natural vision, because this lens really does, for their everyday use, keep them really focused on all the different zones, distance, intermediate, near, and allow them to use them in a more natural way. So we used to always say you have to adapt to your lenses. With the AI, the lens kind of adapts to us instead. And that's a really powerful message for your patients. So life is changing, you're changing, your lenses have to change as we get older. Our visual needs change, and our lens has to change with that. The only way a lens can really do that is to have artificial intelligence in these 12 different designs and be a learning lens like this lens is. So what we offer the patients is a lens that can evolve and change with them and change as the world around us changes. It changes with their visual needs, and it changes with their personal needs. This is going to give them, along with Glacier Expression, you combine these two, you get a really powerful, comfortable lens that's really going to lead to better vision and better satisfaction from the patients. So we've updated the design, updated benefits, and again, combine that with Glacier Plus. Patients are going to get the most comfortable vision, whether they're a young presbyope, a mid presbyope, or an advanced presbyope. all that's going to be taken into account, and they're going to get the best possible vision. I want to end with this. And somebody asked, hey, which is better, the old AI or the new AI? The AI that was released in 2018 was absolutely perfect for the world as it existed in 2018. The world's changed. How we use our eyes have changed. The AI, when you combine it with Glacier Expression, becomes the perfect lens for how we're living our life in 2022. It's a great everyday lens, and combined with expression, it's going to give maximum comfort, maximum wearability, and your patients are just going to love it, and therefore they're going to love you. Thank you very much for your time, and that's it for me.
Thank you very much, Matt. And I can verify we just love our Shamir lenses with AI and a Glacier Expression. What a difference. As mentalists, we're all about observing. We're always observing. So it's so important for us to see clearly.
That's right. And clairvoyance literally means clear vision. So the more clearly we can see, the stronger our connections with each other.
We used to connect always with families and each other with game boards. This is a game, a bag of Scrabble tiles that so many of you are used to. We're going to play a kind of a digital game of Scrabble right now. 100 different tiles. I'm going to dump them right over here on this tray. We'll
there
just
you
change
go.
the camera view. There we are.
Absolutely. And just keep in mind that, you'll see that there's numbers on the back of all those tiles instead of you seeing the front, which are the letters. And that's because we're going to play, as Jeff said, a digital mind game of Scrabble. But, interesting about Scrabble is that it was created in the early 1930s to help uplift people's spirits right after the Great Depression. And I think it's done a great job because it's really popular across the world, over 195 countries, 30 different languages. It is the most popular word game across the world. That's a tongue twister, word and world, but it's all good. So we're going to do this now and have some fun. Get it ready, everybody.
100 different numbers, different tiles. We've got a kind of a section. We've divided them with a space in the middle, and these are the largest tongs that I could buy everybody. So we're going to use these tongs so there's no funny business sleight of hand test just at random. Let's choose somebody to choose a number.
Yeah, how about Bernie? Bernie, with all the wonderful palm trees in the background.
Bernie, you're looking good wherever you are. Look at these numbers, Bernie. There's a left side and a right side. Hopefully you can see all the numbers. 18. First of all, is it on the left side or the right side, Bernie? Which side is it on?
It's on my right.
On your right, so that is my left, right over here.
No, the other side.
The other side, okay. And you said number?
Right there, 18.
18.
1-8, right?
That's it? Bernie, I'm going to place this right over here in the tile rack,
And
right there.
Thanks, Bernie. Jim Thomas, can you help us out, please?
Hi, Jim.
And you're just going to unmute. You got it.
So, Jim, left or right? Which side would you like to go on, left or right?
On the left, I'll go with 84.
84. So help me out, Tess. 84. You look at the screen. There it is.
You got it.
That's the one, yes?
Good job, Jim.
Good. I'm going to place that right over here in the tile rack, and we'll choose somebody else.
Would Lee Hegwood, would you mind helping us out?
Where's Lee?
Sure.
Hi,
Let's
Lee.
go with 3.
Left side or right side, Lee?
It's on my right, your left.
Okay, my left, right over here. Number 3. Is this
right there? There you go.
There it is, right there.
That was good and fast.
Excellent. I'll place that right here.
Excellent. How about B. Scott? Thanks, Lee. B. Scott, if you just turn your. Let's hear you. Oh, we're not getting you.
Where are we?
Right here. We'll come back to you. When you get it on, just keep it on and we'll come back.
He's there. He's there. Can we hear you? No, we don't. Okay.
No. How about Alon? Alon.
Can we hear you, Alon? Turn your mic on.
Yes.
Hello.
I will go for 72 on your right.
On my right, 72. It's nice that you, there it is right here.
That was very
good.
quick.
I'm going to place that in the tile rack.
This is really
Free
important.
choice.
Thank you very much. Andrew Karp, please.
Hi, Andrew.
Hello,
left or right side? Which would you like, left or right?
My right.
Okay.
How about number 20? A nice round number.
20, good.
Toward the middle, or right there, yes.
There we are, right here. Nice choice. I'll place that over here. Try to keep things even. There we are.
Okay, and Ricky, can you help us out again?
Ricky, your choice, left or right? Where should we start? Left or right?
Your left side, 100.
On my left side, 100
Right
there. That's
there.
so easy to
Great
find.
number.
Always 100. Thanks for making it easy. I appreciate that, Ricky. I'll place it over here on this end.
And I think we're going to wrap up since B. Scott, I didn't get you with your mic on. Zohar, can you help us out for the final one?
Hello, Zohar. We know that your mic works. This is a very important choice, Zohar. Depending on what you choose will totally alter the outcome. Left or right, Zohar? Left or right?
Your mic is still
We're
off.
not hearing you. Mic is off.
Do it one
there
more
we
time.
are.
There you go.
Left 23.
So is it this left or your left?
Yes.
And
To the
it's
left,
23.
now,
Oh,
There's
found it.
23. I'll give you one chance to change your mind. You want to stick with this? Or you're okay. There it goes, equaling everything out right on the very end. I'm going to lift the whole tray. Tess, you want to switch me over to that other camera?
There we
Here
go.
we go. Good. As fair as we can be. There's the tile rack. I have no idea what this is. Not really a word, everybody, but interesting nonetheless.
Yes.
7 random tile squares. Maybe some of you are seeing what I see, because if I do this and move this right over here, if we just adjust the signal to noise ratio, look at this, what it is all about today.
Connect.
It is connecting with each other. You did it. However, you're going to see behind us, you notice this question mark, it's been here all the time. Every time we've been out, it's kind of a little prediction from Tessa.
Ta-da, connect, and we did it. We connected so well today, and this is wonderful. Thank you so much. It's been rewarding connecting with you. Thank you for letting us share your thoughts.
And making this magic, everybody.
With Shamir, who you connect better, you look better, you see better, and you'll feel better.
And right now we're going to hand it over to somebody who we've made some swell connections with. Take it away, Phil. Here he is.
Well, thanks, guys. Connecting with people emotionally and physically is a natural part of our communication. We've just learned how consumers are using digital devices now more than ever, and how expression and autograph intelligence helps us see better on not only digital devices, but also in our world around us by utilizing visual noise reduction technology. And we've learned how Glacier Expression reduces screen flections and other distracting glare, so we can look better and connect better with those we speak to. Our visual connection is enhanced, and this is proven from the market research conducted. Expression wearers experience being trusted 3 times more than those wearing Glacier Plus, which is our high-end coating, and expression wearers felt 2.5 times more connected to others versus Glacier Plus. Both Glacier Expression and the updated Autograph Intelligence will be available for ordering on February 1st. Glacier Expression is available on indexes 1.5, 1.53, and 1.59, and on all designs. Visit www.itsclearitsyou.com for more information. We thank you for joining the webinar, and we've captured questions in the chat that may not have been addressed, and we will send out an email shortly answering those questions. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
This is what I want. This is what I need. Are you going